Good morning, Bulldogs. Welcome to the Bulldog Show, where we will be talking about what's going on in the classroom and in clubs. I'm Michelle Martinez. And I am Nayeliana Sola. Here are some important announcements regarding the next 2 weeks. The senior graduation will be the 17th of May, held at NAT, and the last day of school will be May 25th. We will now be going into Field Day and Community Time with Nico Dutch.
This field day was indeed something to remember, being earned for 95% participation on state testing. We reached that goal. Here is an interview with a student about the event.
Name and your grade.
Jason, and my grade is ninth.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part about field day was the obstacle course.
What do you think could have been done better?
Something that could have been done better was the what is it called again? Beanbag race?
You mean the sack race?
Yes, the sack race. Beanbag race.
Would you want to do field day again? Even though this was earned, would you want to do it again?
Yes.
Anything else?
No. Well, maybe. Could have had more food.
Do you mean better food?
No.
Just more?
Yeah, just more.
Why just more?
Because just hot dogs is kind of... Just hot dogs
With
and
that
chips
in mind,
isn't really,
I hope
like,
we could
my
do this
idea
again
of
in the
food.
future. I'm Nico Dutch, and that was Field Day. Here's Cassius Perry and John V. Hill on an interview with Ziegler.
I'm Cassius Perry.
And I'm John V. Hill.
And today we're going to interview Ziegler about why he likes teaching math and construction.
Hello, my name is Cassius Perry, and I'm with, what is your name and how do I spell it?
My name is Jason Antone Ziegler, and I'm just going to spell the last part. That's Ziegler.
Now, I know that there was a construction teacher before you, and why did you want to become a construction teacher?
Originally, this program started with Deborah Bacon and Andrew Rogers, and Miss Bacon lasted a semester because she was a remote teacher in remote times, and it didn't make sense for a construction teacher. Now, Mr. Rogers talked me into this position, telling me I only had to take a couple of classes online to become certified to teach it, and it turns out it's been a ton of fun. He also left at the end of that year. I did not know that was going to be the case, so I got to take over for everything that he did, and that included access to 3D printers and laser machines and things that were way more fun than just teaching traditional math.
When did you train to become a construction teacher, and when did you actually?
That would have been while I was teaching geometry and construction the first time in the spring of 21. Wow, is that right? Yeah. And so trained to be a construction teacher. I'm still learning every day. I'm not that's why I need Mr. Robinson, because he really knows what he's talking about. I tinker with things and I make stuff, as you guys are just seeing. I'm making something here, but I wouldn't say I ever had formal training.
All right. Now I'm gonna switch it up on you. Why did you want to become a math teacher?
I became a math teacher because I had enough math credits in college to become a math teacher. I was going to be a psychiatrist, but then I found out that I needed to be pre-med way too late in college. And so I had taken enough math classes in college for funsies because I really enjoyed math, and my parents made teaching look really good with the summers off and all of that. And so when I graduated from college and didn't know what else to do, I kind of fell back on teaching math.
When did you finish college?
That's kind of funny. The first year I was hired here at Arvada Senior on an emergency license because I hadn't taken history of mathematics or history of Colorado. And those two classes were keeping me from having my professional educator's license. And I was let go at the end of that year. That was 06, 07, because I did not have those two classes. So then I spent the next year substitute teaching in Jeffco, and I took those classes not online, but in an actual classroom, and they were easy classes. And so I guess in 07 is when I finished my educator license. I've been in tons of math classes since then just to get like professional development and more hours, but yeah, I guess '07.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I love the contextual teaching of mathematics. I taught the same ideas for 15 years straight in a math classroom. And the first year that I started teaching the same ideas, where the kids needed to know that idea to like figure out how to cut a piece of wood the right way, they were like thanking me and saying, that was a good lesson. I'm never gonna forget that. And it was like, oh my God, we teach mathematics completely wrong, because the kids are actually thanking me when they know what it's for. And that's a huge thing. So in my mind, I think math curriculum everywhere needs to move towards being more contextualized in like what is it good for in the real world, and how are we going to use it as adults, and how's it going to make us money or whatever. As opposed to just like, here's X, here's Y, study it because it's beautiful. Which it is, but it's so hard to see it until you get to the high levels of math.
I'm Cassius Perry.
And I'm John Viho.
And today we're going to interview Ziegler about why he likes doing the circle time in his class so much.
All right. Now, why do you have the circle time in your classes?
Circle time came about in roughly 2016 when I started doing classroom meetings with kids, just to try to like get to know the kids better and involve student voice and choice in my classrooms. Right around that time, I came to Arvada and I started to realize that like, if all I do is push math down kids' throats and push them into college, I'm missing out on the whole human aspect of what makes them potentially awesome outside of their capacity to just do math problems. And so I started to realize that like, yes, my primary objective as a math teacher is to like get them to see the beauty of mathematics and maybe go into it in college and make way, way, way more money than I ever dreamt of making. But a big thing that I need to bring into my classroom is just good mental vitamins about human connectivity and making human connections, and getting these kids who feel alone in the school to like realize that they're not alone, that they are they're sort of all in the same journey together. I know that's cliche, but I do weekly classroom meetings in almost all of my classes to try to get the kids to learn something about somebody that they normally wouldn't learn about and feel less alone, I guess. It's really good mental vitamins. We do the mindfulness minute during that time. Every week we express some kind of gratitude. Both of those things are also mental vitamins for better mental health. So, I mean, I go through that every time we have circle time, but like, circle time is interesting because there are some kids who fight it, thinking I'm guarded, I don't have anything to share, I don't have anything to bring to the table. And then like sometime in March or April or May, they like open up and they like become full humans, ready to like cathartically share and care with their peers. And I'm just gonna say that like the return on investment for that is huge. Math's a risky subject. Lots of times people think that if I can't do math, I must be dumb, or you're a math person, therefore you're smart. But the truth about math is it's practice, it's a language, it's how much you're willing to try it and be okay with being wrong. And so some kids, they just need to know that they are acknowledged as a human being before they're willing to like take risks in a math classroom and be wrong about a problem, or just even try on the math part of it. And so sometimes through classroom circles, I get that human connection part out of the way, and then they're willing to try in the math section. It's also, because this is a construction class that we're talking about, getting to feel like you're part of a team is really important for GIC, because when you're up on the roof in a harness, you need to trust the person who's on the other end of that rope holding your life up there. And so circle time is part of that. Do I do circle time perfectly all the time? No. Have we gotten there yet this year where I really feel like we're like a cohesive unit? Not quite, but we're getting there. And so it's a daily grind, but I think it's worth it.
Thank you for joining us, Bulldogs.